Hi, everybody, welcome to Take 5 with the Adapters. Of course, that's Sean Worker, and I'm Glenn Hausman. And I will tell you, Sean, I've been in New York City this past week. I had a great time in there. I'm seeing every time I go in, more life is coming back, more energy is coming back, and I'm more enthused than I ever have been about the future of cities. I'm sure you see it exactly the same way.
I think they've missed the boat and they're trying to catch up. Long on cities, that's where people meet. That's where people meet their spouses, get great jobs, grow their careers. But case in point, the City of London has announced that they are returning about, probably 10% of their office space, courtesy of the policy director, Catherine McGuinness, in the City of London. By the way, only has 9,000 inhabitants, and they are returning office space with the individuals that have that office space and returning it to residential.
All right, hold on. Could you clarify that a little bit? Only 9,000 people in
9,000 people in the City of London. Right now, to be clear, the City of London is a borough. It's not a borough. It's a honorary county, and it is in the Greater London area, right? It's in the urban area of Greater London. But it is a critical element of finance, banking, and the legal profession and all things. But basically, it empties out on the weekend.
Right.
This is their advantage with work from home. See, this is the effect of work from home and coming into the marketplace and saying, we need to reimagine our city.
Right. That makes sense to me. And one of the things that
that has never happened where I made sense for you.
Well, this is a show, so we have to pretend, Sean. Let's just go out. Let's just go along with that. But honestly, you do make sense, because a lifelong New Yorker such as myself, I've been to downtown Manhattan, and prior to the pandemic at 5:01, the place cleared out. It was all tumbleweeds. And it wasn't until after 9/11 they started to incorporate more housing in there in order to create more of a work-life balance environment. Do you think cities are going to be able to pull that off? Do you think cities are going to be able to adapt for the future in order to continue to remain lively, vibrant, and profitable for the people that are living there, not just financially, but socially and emotionally as well?
We have turned the paradigm of work and place of work upside down involuntarily.
Right.
If we are to truly achieve what I think a lot of people have in their hearts, which is, I want to be at home more, I want to do things differently in my life, they're going to have to participate in this just as much as employers and cities. It's a platform. It's not dissimilar to what Hubert Jolly did with, Radisson, and particularly with Best Buy, where they took stores and changed them into mini stores within the stores. The enablement of people to go see Samsung and Sonos and everything else. Hotels need to think like this too. Event halls need to think like this too. Offices need to think of themselves as places of learning and gathering, not places of work and toil.
Right.
So it's a community that's got to make this happen.
That's absolutely right. So getting the community, though, to go up and make all of these changes is tough, because a lot of times we look to not necessarily the political leaders in our community, but the business leaders in our community to be able to do some sort of these. How do you make logic out of that?
Working with the cities. So the cities need to talk and sit down with the business people, and they probably should sit down with a cross section of people who are employees and actually get some balance in the conversation and not just act like elected officials. Congrats to, again, Catherine McGuinness, policy chair at City of London. They've done something that the rest of us should learn from. But they also are realizing that you need hotels, you need gyms, you need great restaurants, you need food delivery. Right. You need a reason to be there, or else you have no community.
Interesting. It sounds like a lot what you're talking about is how this phenomenon of planned cities started. I know only from the United States point of view, but the whole idea is to create an environment where people could live, work, and play all within walking distance. Fascinating that cities have kind of lost that point of view, which is kind of how they were created to begin with.
Exactly. And, their own employees have now worked from home. They're also realizing in a less than subtle way that this is a great way to be sustainable. If you can have less people moving in and out of the city, less carbon consumption, less food waste. These are, as we were talking separately off air, sustainability is a real thing now. It's tangible. We can see it. And sometimes you gotta see it before you believe it, and it's real. But it's a great opportunity for us to capitalize on that. New industries, new startups, all a buzz.
That's right. And one of the great things, if I could even use that phrase without getting pilloried for it, of the pandemic is that it's that great reset button. It gives us a chance to rethink everything that we thought was sacrosanct and to rebuild, to recreate, and reinvent. Sean, what should we take away from this today?
So, the short takes are, if we reimagine cities as platforms and how we interact with them, Amazon's a platform. You can buy everything there from a click. Estonia, you can do all of your everything with government by click. Let's use that in the same way. Work from home, it's a real thing. Whether it's 3 days a week, 5 days a week, whatever, 3 days at home, whatever, it's going to happen, and offices are going to become centers of learning, creativity, and culture. Real estate, the owners of real estate, they're going to get a lot of pressure. There's a lot of pressure from how a franchisee deals with a big owner of franchises. That's going to get rewritten. And finally, how about that we treat a hotel as a platform with, why not, if your guests have already told you very clearly in the last year that room service and other types of products like that are not as important to them because it's not good value, let Deliveroo, do a deal with DoorDash, use the concierge or some other individual in the hotel to go drop up the food securely to a room and charge the food corkage fee. It's back to drinking. We keep talking about that wine. And utilizing the capacity of banqueting space, maybe like a ghost kitchen, and having multiple uses to keep their city. A hotel is kind of like a city that's vibrant. There's people moving and going, and do the same thing as cities are doing. So I think they're the big 5 takeaways.
Beautiful. I love it, Sean. You've made me rethink the future of cities, and I hope all of you out there feel exactly the same way. Learn more about the Adapters at theadapters.net, where we've got a great series of content over there, continually updated with the latest trends and adaptions that we're seeing out in the marketplace. And of course, get the Adapters book at Amazon.com, wherever you prefer to buy your books. So for Sean Worker and myself, Glenn Hausman, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.